Welcome back. I'm Kevin O'Keefe. At issue today, incredible stories of teens who give back. Growing up, Amber Morley's neighborhood didn't have much going for it. So a group of teens got together and started SEA, the South Etobicoke Youth Assembly. These days, there's plenty going on for teenagers in Amber's hood, from basketball camps to meetings with the local mayor. Check it out.
So SEA stands for the South Etobicoke Youth Assembly, and my role here right now, currently, I'm the Youth Volunteer Support Worker. I'm basically the coordinator of the organization. I do a lot of the organization, facilitating. This neighborhood is really complex because there's pockets. South of Lakeshore is all $1 million homes and accomplished middle-class, suburban almost type deal, and then there's pockets of housing complexes, and there's pockets of poverty, and there's pockets of things that completely get looked over and ignored. So those are the sort of the spaces we try to fill.
We're a youth-led run organization, non-profitable organization, and our goal is to get all the youth in the community to have their 40 hours, for them all to get their community hours and to realize the needs in the community and also have a voice in the community to help voice their opinion.
Okay, so we're going to be here about 9:30, 9:45 is late.
Some of SEA's highlights are we recently just got word that we got space in the recreational facility that Humber is taking over, so they're allowing us to use their gym space, which we desperately need to fill the needs of the sports and activities that the youth want to do in the area.
We went on a leadership camp, which was an amazing success. A lot of young people who've never been outside of the city, much less the West End, got a chance to go up to a sort of like a retreat place. And we did some outdoor activities and tons of fun. We got to break them down to different groups that they don't usually interact with and take on leadership roles and learn about leadership and learn about themselves. So that was one of the highlights of the work that we did.
I like the fact that they're willing to take the kids on trips for free, right? You don't find a lot of programs that are willing to do that, right? And I thought that was really good, right? That was really stood out for me, right? They're taking the effort, they're willing to go out of their way, fund these trips, and then take kids for free. And that's what really made it to me. They all relate really well to the youth, right? Like Amber and Janice and all of them, they all relate very well to them, right? And I think that's why the youth understand them so much better, right? And I think that's even better for the youth to have around here.
Really do give our youth who we work with a sense of ownership over the organization and over the community. So as it is, I am a mentor to all of these young people who are now involved.
The relationship between everyone is pretty basic. It's like a big family. Everyone in your family would know what happens to anything that happens to you. So it's like a big family, community family kind of thing.
The significant change that I've seen is that more and more kids are jumping in to give their 2 cents and to help out, and I would say a lot of kids are being interested into what we offer.
So next steps, we are hoping to stay alive after we're on our 10th anniversary. We actually have a grant in right now with Layla, and we're waiting to see what the result of that is. It's going to have a big impact on our future for sure. We want to be able to take what we've learned in our community and what we've been able to succeed at and reach out to other organizations.
And joining me in the studio from SEA is Amber Morley. Welcome to the show, Amber.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming. I want to ask you something that you mentioned to our researcher, Patrick, about this family atmosphere that's really key for you in your organization. I want to start with your own family. Tell me a bit about the family atmosphere you grew up in.
Well, I was raised by a single mother, so she worked really, really hard to take care of myself and my older brother and sort of provide for us and give us opportunities. We were lucky enough to be able to go to cottages and go camping and do a lot of experiences that people in my neighborhood didn't really get to do often. And I think that my mom, she's just a nurturer by nature, so she was always the lady who everyone came to with their problems, with their, like, whatever was going on with them. She was somebody who they could talk to. And so I guess by that happening, my house became an open door type policy. And so people were constantly just shopping in. And that's sort of how my community family started. And all of the young people that I grew up around ended up being just like my brothers and sisters. And I'm still really close with them to this day.
I think that's really key because I've done some stories on gangs in Toronto. And one of the things that I found really interesting was they see each other as family.
For sure.
Why is that so important with Saya that you want that to have that? Well, I just sort of answered it, but why was that an ingredient that you really wanted to have in your group, Saya?
I think for us it sort of came about organically, as did our group, and we really do care about each other. And the founding members were all friends who were sort of came from similar circumstances and shared similar just bonds and things that brought them together. So starting from there and coming from the same community and the same experiences, it builds sort of a camaraderie almost, like a family type of vibe, because it's like people outside of our world and our circumstances don't really get it or don't really know what we're living through. So to be able to have young people and people that you can relate to that know what you're going through and can sort of help you through it and have similar experiences, it really starts that whole family vibe, and that's sort of what we try to continue on with Saya. So as we bring new people in and we nurture our young people, we let them know that, hey, like, we know where you're coming from, we get it, we come from there too, you can lean on me and we're going to grow together and stuff.
You sound like a very positive role model.
Thank you.
And you do that intentionally though. Why is that important to provide that role model for young women and young men in your group?
I think there's not enough role models, especially in sort of higher risk communities with a lot of single mothers. There's no guidance for especially young men, and I find that oftentimes they're the population that gets more bored and less things.
Why is that an issue? Why is a bored teenager a concern of yours?
Idle time is not a good thing.
So these aren't people specifically looking to cause trouble. They're just bored.
They're just bored, exactly. And sometimes it's what your peer group is doing. And if your peer group is a group without direction or without any role models, then the things that they might be falling into may not be necessarily healthy or good for you or the best things that you could be doing. But because it's a group of people that you look up to and that you can see yourself fit in with, then sometimes people will fall down those paths. And I think that goes back with the whole family thing, is people join gangs like you were talking about, and they see each other like family because that's what they're looking for, is belonging, and they're looking for a place to be welcome and to be relevant.
So how can playing basketball help? You guys have a basketball program.
Yeah, we do tons of basketball programs. Yeah.
How can that make a difference?
It seems really simple, but anybody I think who played organized sports really understand the benefits of them. You learn about team building, you learn about sportsmanship and sort of coming into a challenge and having to work together as a team and coming out of it sort of, victory or defeat. And it's just sort of, it's a growing tool. It's like sort of an experience that we get to teach them together, and they can come and have their arguments and leave it all on the court and leave.
See, I don't have any money for a basketball. I don't have any money for I don't have a good court to play on, so I can't go, right?
Well, we have an older youth basketball. I guess maybe.
You guys, it's all free as well, right?
Everything
you provide
we do provide it's free. We also do a leadership camp once a year, and we bring the young people up for a weekend to Teen Ranch or to different youth camps that we rent out, and we bring them for the weekend. It's free. We provide their transportation. We do leadership training, personality dimensions, teach them about themselves and each other.
Why is that a big deal to go to a camp for the weekend? I can go to a camp anytime.
Yeah.
That's significant.
It is, for sure. It was funny, we were talking on the ride over. It's so far from where we live. We're over in South Etobicoke, in Islington and Lakeshore area. And it's really like our own little city over there, and when you leave that area, it's like, whoa, where am I? Culture shock.
So some of the kids you take have never left that neighborhood?
Some of them have never even been into downtown Toronto,
wow.
much less outside of the city. So it's a huge experience for them to be going into wilderness and riding horses and being on a schedule and having to cook together and clean together. And they're learning lifelong skills and building up social support. So it's awesome.
One of the things you do that I found really interesting was politics.
Yes.
All these kids are under 18, I assume. They can't vote, so they shouldn't care about politics.
True.
That's
what one would assume.
Why is that such a huge ingredient in your organization?
Well, we started off, our first event ever that we did was a speak out, and we brought down our local politician, and we had all the young people from the community come out and say, well, look, we need more programs, we need more access, we have issues here, and we need some attention.
Wow.
So that's how it started out. So over the past 10 years, it's our 10th anniversary, 2010, and we've just sort of continued on that theme. So we stay on top of issues of recreation, when there's consultations or anything like that. Our local councillor sends out notices, and we always make sure to be on top of that. We're the front row and center, literally.
No one responds. I get those notices all the time.
Yeah, no.
And you guys take action.
Yeah, we take action, and it's.
Wow.
I've been actually one of the forefront people for the past couple of years, and it's just amazing being one of the only young people at these tables and at these conversations, and they're so important, and it makes you realize, well, why aren't more young people involved with this? So that's another beauty of our organization, is that we're trying to show them little things about it and get them interested and involved, and bringing them to the consultations and bringing them to deputations and different things like that. So.
And you have an candidates meeting coming up. You said you're having all the candidates coming.
Yes, we're working in partnership with Humber Students Federation, and right now we're organizing an all-candidates debate for the mayoralty candidates at Humber
And the
College.
candidates respond? They're willing to come and talk?
Not yet. We're waiting for 3 more confirmations. Actually, if you're watching, we'd like to know that youth are important to you. But so far we have 7 confirmations, and we are going ahead with the event nonetheless, because it's our goal.
The other thing that I find really interesting is your organization is quite self-sustaining.
Yes.
I mean, it's not that it's an adult saying we've applied for a grant for funding. You guys apply for the grant yourself.
So I've been writing the grants for...
I'm sure that's a thrilling job.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
Love writing
it's
grants.
a grueling process. It definitely is, and I have support, that's for sure, and we bring in our young people as well, like our leads. We have a core team of young people that we call our leads, and every year our leads groups change, but it's the ones who step up, and we can sort of point out as the future leaders of the organization, because it's all about youth-led, youth-run. So we do succession training and that type of thing. But we write our grants, and we aim for usually about $50,000 at a pop. And
you guys are getting that money yourself. No one's been giving it to you.
We're getting it through grants. Yeah.
And why do you have the leads? Why do you teach? You train other people to help write as well and get involved.
Because
you're not just doing this stuff by accident. I know what you're up to.
No. Like I said, it's youth-led and youth-run. I've been there myself for over a long time, since I was 12, and I'm 21 now.
Wow.
So I started off as a volunteer, progressed into becoming staff.
Right.
Actually, when we first started, there was no paid staff, and our budget a year was like $10,000 for the whole year, and now we run at about $76,000 a year. And we raise all that money ourselves. So I sort of made myself a little paid position and fundraise for it and stuff.
Someone
like
is watching right now, a young person, maybe they're bored, they're watching TV and they want to get involved. Mm-hmm. Is there anywhere they can go to a website for more information or any suggestions you would have?
Yeah, definitely. You can go to www.lampchc.org, and there will be a link there to SEA, and then on there you can find our Facebook link and all that type of stuff, because I don't know it off by heart.
No, that's
we're
fine.
on there.
And what advice would you give to a young person who's, I don't know, there's nowhere for me to go, I don't have any money to play sports, what would you say to them?
It sounds kind of cliche, and it's funny because I just had orientation at college this year, and they were saying this, and in my head I'm like, it sounds so cliche, right? Yeah, but it really is true. Get connected. Don't just sit on the couch. Pick up the phone, open the yellow pages, look on the internet. There's so many things, and we're really blessed in this country to have so many opportunities that young people can take advantage of. And even myself, the more that I do, I find the more opportunities become available to me, and the more I learn, and the more I want to do with our youth group, and the more. So I get connected, and don't be shy.
Well, thank you for connecting us today. I appreciate your time.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Well, when we return, teens work to prevent other teens from getting HIV/AIDS. Stick around.